Hell yeah, brother. We're back with episode 16?
Doesn't matter.
I don't even know. We've actually done a lot of them at this point.
Yeah,
we fucking have.
We're getting the hang of it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, it's my turn to come with a little presentation for you today.
We promised.
We did promise, and I've been dragging my feet on it for a long-ass fucking time. This has been weeks in the making. But I'm going to talk to you today about a few things. So, it's going to be about maybe a bit of aliens.
Nice.
Maybe some giant people. Maybe a race that may have existed in the Grand Canyon before the Native Americans.
Okay, before we start,
Yes.
that all sounds unbelievably good. I love the sound of that. Like, I want to know. I want to know what you know.
Okay.
Mind meld with me.
Yeah, well, I'm going to give you this for free now. Okay.
Sound.
So, right. So, this all kind of kicks off around 1908, okay?
You're very lord.
Before the Grand Canyon was, like, designated as a national park.
Right.
So, there was this explorer, and his name was G.E. Kincaid. And Teddy Roosevelt said, we're going to make the Grand Canyon a national park. So,
yeah.
that means he was sealing off certain areas, all this kind of stuff. So G.E. Kincaid, he wanted to go exploring the canyon more before certain parts got closed off, because it was really rich in like minerals like gold, copper, silver, all that kind of stuff. So he was trying to find a bit of wealth by doing some exploring. So, let's see. Time to consult the notes.
Yeah, just while you're doing that,
Yeah.
Teddy Roosevelt, he is the national parks guy.
Yeah,
Like, he is...
Brother
Most of the ones in
parks.
America are because of Teddy Roosevelt. Like.
Did he do Yellowstone? No, it's not. What's it called? It's a Yellowstone.
He introduced the national parks like during the recession, so that people would have like jobs as like park rangers and stuff. And he also loved hunting.
Yeah.
So he's like,
Win-win.
yeah, win-win.
Yeah.
We have to preserve these lands so that we can use them. Like,
Nice. Yeah, so G.E. Kincaid, he wanted to explore as much as he could before it was closed, so he ended up taking a boat down the Colorado River and through the Grand Canyon. His motive was most likely looking for gold, silver, copper, as the canyon was rich in these minerals, like I said. So he went about 40 miles up the river into something called the El Tovar Crystal Canyon, right? And there he saw like a different kind of coloring or like a stain on a sediment formation on the canyon wall about 2,000 feet up, right? So he's at the bottom of the canyon in the water, like
so
going along in a boat.
Okay, so there's a river in the middle, like, and he's looking way up this face, like
he's looking way up, and he sees these stains in a sediment formation, and he's like, I look there for minerals, right?
Right, okay.
So he goes to investigate. He couldn't find a trail there, so he was looking around, hiking, and he ended up finding these steps that were like covered in desert brush and everything, right? So like really old steps. Hundreds of them carved in sandstone.
Carved?
Carved out. So the steps led up to like a high shelf on the side of the canyon. And there is where he found the cavern entrance. So he claims that this was like a clearly man-made entrance in like, the side of the canyon. So he goes in to the cave and he turns on his flashlight.
G. Concave.
Nice. So he's exploring this cave. He gets there. He turns on his flashlight. And he starts noticing all of this like writing on the walls. And it's not English. And it's not Native American kind of writing. Which is what you would expect a lot of things you would find in this area to be. Because as you'll see from what I'm going to say later, this kind of area, it's like real... That's where like a lot of the native tribes like were, or like...
They inhabited that area like before the colonies moved west, like. Yeah.
So turns on his flashlight and he noticed that like the cave goes way back. Like it's not just like a little cave. It's like, holy fuck, this thing goes on for a long ass time.
It's like a proper system, like.
Yeah. So he starts walking through and he starts taking notes. And I've wrote down kind of his notes here in quotations, right? So he says the main passageway is about 12 foot wide, narrowing to 9 feet towards the further end. About 57 feet from the entrance, the first side passages branch off to the right and left, along which on both sides are a number of rooms about the size of ordinary living rooms, though some are 30 by 40 square foot.
Damn.
So there's a lot of shit in here. He said these are entered by oval-shaped doors and ventilated by round air spaces through the walls into the passages. The walls are about 3 feet in thickness. The passages are chiseled as straight as could be laid out by an engineer. The ceilings of the many rooms converge into a centre. The side passages near the entrance run at a sharp angle from the main hall, but toward the rear they gradually reach a right angle in direction. So he's literally walked into this cave, and it's not just like random fucking cavey shit. It's like it looks like it's been engineered.
It's not all rugged looking, like it's like fucking, like he's saying there, cut like an engineer.
Precise angles and shit. So at this point he realizes he's in like a well-built, complex like living space. And he said that like he would estimate that around 50,000 people could have lived here.
50?
Yeah.
1,000?
That's just what he says.
Damn,
right?
that's a lot of fucking people. Like.
It's a lot of people. It's like it's a big fucking cave. Well built.
Damn.
In some rooms he found like granaries with like shelves of like glazed pottery and everything. And some of them actually still had like seeds in them. And he said there was cooking areas, a dining hall. He said a lot of the rooms were filled with ancient artifacts. And he also described a room that seemed to be used for like metalwork, which like wouldn't have existed in that area at the time.
The Native Americans didn't have
they didn't have no metalwork in like.
They used obsidian, I think. Which is just rock.
Yeah. So like he's stumbled upon this place where there's a lot of shit going on that like just doesn't fit the area at all. Like there's like artifacts, there's writing that aren't English or Native American.
Yeah.
There's like rooms that are for like cooking, metalwork.
You said a main hall as well.
Yeah, like all sorts of shit.
Like you only decide to make your walls dead straight when you have enough time to do that, and if you aren't very good at that sort of shit, you don't spend all your time making walls straight.
Exactly.
Like it's actually fucking difficult to do.
It's really difficult. Yeah, it's like super advanced engineering for the time period. Like.
Yeah, definitely.
So he said, this is another direct quote from him. There's a lot of quotes over the next few minutes. It's just him kind of detailing it. So He says, here we found tools of all descriptions in the metalwork room.
Yeah.
Made of copper. These people undoubtedly knew the lost art of hardening this metal, which has been sought by chemicals for centuries without a result. On a bench running around the workroom was some charcoal and other material probably used in the process. There was also slag and stuff similar to mat.
You slag.
Showing that these ancients smelted ores, but so far no trace of where or how this was done has been discovered, nor the origin of the ore. So at this point, he has no idea who was here, what it was used for, or who the builders were. And he comes across another large room, and it was like a crypt. And it had loads of shelves and rows upon rows of mummies on them, right? So like mummy figurines and everything.
Okay, like just little wrapped figurines.
So at this point, he's like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, he was there for hours, and he realized, like, I'm probably going to need help to explore this whole thing.
Yeah, is it just him on his own?
Just him on his own so far. He's just walking through it, taking notes.
He's definitely walking through like, no one's going to believe me.
Yeah. Exactly. So what he does, right, he sends some of the artifacts to the Smithsonian, and he requests financial and logistical support for what he called the most significant archaeological discovery ever made.
Nice.
Right. So he's like, lads, you have to come out here. I just found some real sick shit. Like,
yeah, and the fact that he's like sent it to like the fucking museum as well is like a big like plus. It's like he's not like, oh no, you have to send somebody here. He's like,
look
at these things. Tell me what they are.
100%. So the Smithsonian agrees, and they send Professor S.A. Jordan with a team of 40 scientists, researchers, and laborers to help explore this fucking pretty much like underground city. Like,
yeah.
So now they have the big guns in. They all realize collectively that like this cave system, it's not random, right? So it's extremely deliberate. It's symmetrical. Everything leads into like a central chamber in the middle of the cave. And in here, this part is fucking weird. There's a large statue of what Kincaid thought looked like Buddha.
Right.
So we've got a mix now of like Egyptian shit and also
with the
like,
mummies.
With the mummies, and now there's a thing of fucking Buddha in here.
Big
as
fat
well.
fella sitting down doing fuck all.
This is a quote. Over 100 feet from the entrance is the cross hall, several hundred feet long, in which are found the idol or image of the people's god, sitting cross-legged with a lotus flower or lily in each hand. Mm-hmm. The cast of this face is oriental. His words, not mine. Can't say oriental anymore.
yeah. I'm surprised he used like that and not like something a bit more slurry. Like
The idol almost resembles Buddha, though the scientists are not certain as to what religious worship it represents. Taking into consideration everything found thus far, it is possible the worship represents the ancient people of Tibet. So now
we're going all over the place
we've
here.
got Egyptian shit and we've got Tibetan shit in here now. And obviously now that like they have the big guns in and there's more light, he's able to examine the crypt like a lot more closely.
Yeah.
So he says the walls slant back at about a 35-degree angle. On these are tiers of mummies, each one occupying a separate shelf. At the head of each is a small bench, on which is found copper cups and pieces of broken swords. Some of the mummies are covered in clay and all are wrapped in a bark fabric. Urns and cups on the lower tiers are crude, while as the higher shelves are reached, the urns are finer in design, showing like a later stage of civilization. It is worthy to note that all mummies examined so far have been male. No female or children are being buried here. This leads to believe that this exterior section is the warriors' barracks.
Nice. Right? Yeah.
So Kincaid and the Smithsonian team, they conclude that it isn't some random temple and that evidence points towards it being like a community of possibly thousands of people living here for hundreds or even like thousands of years.
Yeah.
So who the fuck are they? So I just have a little summary of like what was found. Hundreds of rooms, granaries, metalworking, crypts, temples, barracks and living quarters. Thousands of artifacts, copper, bronze, swords and shields. A grey metal that scientists couldn't really identify what it was, but it looked like platinum.
Right, some form of their own alloy, like mixed together, a bunch of different metals.
Pottery, urns, cooking utensils, stone tablets engraved with hieroglyphics. Like, there's so much shit in here.
Damn, that warriors like burial room as well. Like the fact that they're all men. Yeah. Like could be like high ranking people as well, like
people of note, like
kings or stuff, or even like high officers, generals and shit. Like,
and you have to bear in mind that if this is true, like this is found in fucking Arizona in America. Like,
yeah, that's crazy. Like metal swords and shields, like you would think, oh, they didn't have that. Like,
yeah,
Native Americans were the first peoples there. Like
hieroglyphics and like Tibetan artifacts.
Yeah, that's weird. Like,
what the fuck's going on here? Because at this point, like the commonly agreed upon theory is that the Native Americans were the first people in America.
Yeah, yeah.
So now he stumbles across this cave with all these artifacts that are thousands of years old, and he's like, what the fuck's going on here?
Yeah. It's not necessarily the age of the artifacts, it's the complexity of them.
Yeah,
it's like
culturally,
it doesn't match what we thought was going on here at that time. Like, yeah.
So he says on all of the urns or walls over doorways and tablets of stone are the mysterious hieroglyphics, the key to which the Smithsonian Institute hopes to discover. The engravings probably have something to do with the religion of the people. Similar hieroglyphics have been found in southern Arizona. Among the pictorial writings, only 2 animals have been found. One is of prehistoric type. So it's like that old.
Wow.
You know what I mean? It's like they're like thousands of years old. So we have a strange mix of cultures, very confusing. Some statues look Tibetan, some writings appear to be Egyptian, but neither of them, they said, looked quite right. Like they couldn't pin it to either culture.
Yeah.
Experts on the site, they couldn't translate any of the stuff. So like they would have had probably Egyptologists or something. It's like it's not quite right. Like,
yeah, it doesn't match. I can't read this. Like.
Yeah. Let's see, where was I? What they did know for sure is whatever civilization built this was very advanced, obviously.
Nice.
So much more advanced than the ancient tribes that lived there for a few thousand years.
Yeah.
So the Native Americans and everything. They were working bronze many years before the Bronze Age like even began.
Yeah, if they're drawing prehistoric animals and they're working bronze, like that's before we were working bronze.
You don't do them things.
Nah, bro.
It seems they understood division of labor and agriculture while every other civilization was still hunting and gathering. So these are kind of the parallels that they're drawing here. It's like if it is this old, it doesn't match like
our previous model of when we graduated into farming. And
so this like all goes against the agreed upon archaeological timeline, which we know archaeologists hate.
When
you start trying to like say, you know, actually no, that didn't. They're like, nope.
No, you don't understand.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to tell you why.
They also...
It's such a dick move.
Yeah. So they also agree that the civilization that built this wasn't like local, right? So they must have arrived here from the other side of the world.
Right. Okay.
So Kincaid and Professor Jordan, they sent the artifacts and boxes of books and drawings back over to the Smithsonian, along with their hypothesis that an ancient civilization existed in the Grand Canyon thousands of years before the Native Americans arrived in North America.
Right.
So they were technologically advanced, skilled, educated, and spiritually complex, originating somehow in Egypt or Asia. Their request was denied, and G.E. Kincaid and Jordan were never heard from again.
Damn.
Yeah, so just they sent everything back, and it was just like the Smithsonian got word of everything got sent back to them, and just nothing ever happened of it. Yeah.
Damn.
That's what Kincaid says anyway. Do you know that? It's just like the Smithsonian stepped in, saw everything, and then just.
So who has all the artifacts then? Like
Smithsonian.
They just kept it and said, "Oh no, they're shite, lads. We'll get rid of them for you." Like.
Pretty much, yeah. Like there appears to be evidence of them sending the artifacts back to the Smithsonian, but like no one's ever really heard anything about this Grand Canyon city since. You know.
Damn.
So this is where kind of the Native American link comes in then.
Right.
All right. So the Grand Canyon, like, it's not just a canyon, right? To the Native Americans, it was a place of like huge like spiritual significance and everything. So the Hopi, Navajo, Zuni, and Apache tribes, they've all lived around the canyon for like thousands of years. And
sick lineup.
Yeah, the boys.
Yeah, the fucking lads.
And you're going to hear a good bit of like Hopi mythology and everything here, and it's really interesting how it like ties into all of this stuff. So Hopi mythology says that from the Grand Canyon is where the first people of the world emerged, right? Their story says that many thousands of years ago, a reptilian race. Stay with me now.
Okay, yeah.
Stay with me now.
I'm with you. We were fish at one stage.
I'm relaying the information. Okay?
Don't shoot the messenger.
Okay, so the Hopi tribe, right? They believe that many thousands of years ago, a reptilian race emerged from the canyon and changed into humans, right? Other Native American cultures like the Zuni and the Akomi, I think it's how you say it, have similar legends that other people were there before they arrived.
Right, yeah, not necessarily reptiles, but like they come from there.
Some even say that giants used to live there before they arrived. Okay?
I love that.
Yeah, and we're going to circle back to giants later on too.
Oh, please.
Right, you're going to see a common link of what the Native Americans believe versus kind of how the Smithsonian has like potentially maybe suppressed things.
Right, okay.
So, let's see, where was I now? Yeah, some even say giants were there. This is interesting because there's loads of rumors that skeletons of giants have been discovered all over the western United States, but the evidence has been suppressed by the Smithsonian. So we'll circle back to that. Now, I'm not saying the Smithsonian is corrupt, right? But they were accused a lot of like covering things up and like suppressing certain information because they looked at things through like a very Eurocentric or colonialist lens. Do you know what I mean? It was kind of what fit their narrative.
This is right around the time, if just like to reinforce that point, like this is right around the time when race is becoming like, you know how race is a big thing today.
Yeah.
But back then it was popping off. Like, they were genuinely like getting into like weird like phrenology, like the study of skulls and everything, and like how that would determine your race, would determine like how your aggressive
characteristics.
Exactly.
Like Django, like when Leonardo DiCaprio was talking about you have like certain like dimples in your skull that,
exactly,
like,
that's it,
submissiveness and everything,
and like your aggressiveness and everything, like, and they're all criminals and stuff. Like this is when that is popping off too. So I could see why the Smithsonian would hate to think that like Native Americans might be descended from like an older culture than even Europeans are. Like,
so like the archaeological and historical landscape is often disputed with new claims and discoveries, right? So kind of what's agreed upon, sometimes that can get like a bit shaky when people come out with like new evidence. So things like Vikings discovering Newfoundland 500 years before the New World was discovered, or like evidence that Chinese explorers landed in North and South America before the Vikings, just things like this that kind of pop up every now and then, right? And landing on coasts is one thing, But what we're talking about here is a civilization existing in like the Grand Canyon.
Arizonis,
which is 365 miles away from the nearest body of water.
Good trek.
So it's not like you just kind of stumble upon a coast. You know what I mean? It's like they're here with like intent.
You don't just rock up on the coast and say, right, lads, we're going to walk for 365 miles and then we're going to build a massive city into a fucking cavern. Like.
Exactly, yeah.
You've been there a good while. Like.
100%. So like how would they have gotten there? Or how would they... If they did get there, how would they have the tech to excavate millions of tons of rocks to build a city?
Definitely, yeah.
Like it makes no sense how Egyptian and like Tibetan culture could just be in the middle of the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, and especially like they're building into the side of a fucking canyon. Like.
Yeah. Exactly.
So it's like, how are they shifting all that rock? Like,
well, Louis, I'll bring up a little theory for you, right?
Feed me, I'm a baby bird. Tweet, 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 tweet. Feed me.
I'm about to puke some conspiracies down your mouth.
Some wormy conspiracies.
So the Hopi, they also have a legend, right, where they talk about ant people. Okay.
You turned your mic off there, or did you?
Okay, it's on, I think, is it?
Yeah, we're good. That was only 10 seconds, so we're
great. The Hopi have a legend where they talk about ant people, and they describe them as humanoid creatures, slightly smaller than humans, with eyes like insects, right?
Whoa.
And pale skin. So, pale skin, Arizona heat.
We're just catching fucking strays off them, like.
If we're to believe their description of these people, right? Pale skin in, like, Arizona heat.
Yeah, it's basically the fucking desert.
There's no pale Native Americans or anything.
No,
so
true.
This coincides... Okay, we're about to go off a little bit here now. So this coincides with the timeline for the Younger Dryas.
Oh, yeah.
Tell the folks at home what the Younger Dryas is.
The Younger Dryas impact theory is the theory that around like 10,800 to 11,200 years ago, that an ancient civilization that was advanced was wiped out by
global cataclysms,
like
floods and all sorts of shit.
The impact of the the impact of a comet, and then that wiped that civilization off the face of the planet pretty much, and stragglers from that civilization birthed like Egypt and like Mesopotamia and all them places.
Exactly. So large global scale cataclysms happened.
Yeah. Sorry, so it's what is dated to around that time?
The Hopi talking about ant people.
Okay, right. So okay.
Yeah, so that coincides with the timeline for when the Younger Dryas happened, and the Hopi were on the verge of being destroyed. And this is their story until a sky god, quote, emerged from what they called a moving star, quote unquote. So that sounds a lot like a UFO to me.
The sky god emerged from the star.
The sky god showed us how to build pottery and urns.
Those beady-eyed pale ant creatures.
So the legend states that this sky god brought the Native Americans to the ant people, who escorted them to underground caves for protection.
The sky god is the comet.
Possibly.
And that they had to flee to these fucking ant people.
I don't know if the sky god is the comet. To me, it sounds like, I'm going to get into it in a minute, but in a lot of cultures, they kind of talk about around the time of these disasters is like receiving help from like
civilizing figures.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the Hopi legend states the sky god brought the Native Americans to the ant people, who escorted them to underground caves for protection. The sky god got back in the moving star and flew into the clouds. So underground caves,
pieced out like
possibly the canyon caves.
He went like this.
Yeah. And the Piyot Native Americans talk about people as well that they call the Havmusuvs and describe them as human-shaped with golden skin and large eyes. So again, aliens possibly. Nice. They lived in a vast underground city and they traded with faraway people. They possessed weapons that the Piyot describe as silver tubes that shot lightning and could instantly kill a man. And they supposedly flew silver canoes in the sky. The craft made a humming sound and could maneuver like a hawk at great speeds.
I love the way Native Americans describe stuff.
It moved like a hawk.
It moved like a hawk at great speed.
So that's two different Native American tribes now that are describing fucking aliens pretty much.
Yeah.
Also describing being brought to live in like underground caves for like protection at the time of like a huge natural disaster.
Yeah, the people who describe it with like the silver tubes and stuff. What was their name again?
The Piote.
The Piote are like, they're a bit more like dramatic with the description than the other one.
Yeah,
they're like they're the silver tubes and fucking they're flying around in the fucking sky
in silver canoes. Which might have just been UFOs that they didn't have the knowledge to like describe it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it looked like a fucking plane, man. They didn't know
they don't know what a plane is. Like silver tubes.
So most ancient civilizations have a flood myth, right? Describing a disaster that melted ice caps that rose sea levels by over 400 feet, wiping out cities, maybe even continents. What's really interesting is that across many civilizations, there are these shared stories detailing similar events and receiving help from divine beings or gods. Like,
yes.
So it exists in Sumerian culture, Egyptian, Incans, Mayan and Aztecs, Hindu, Greek, Malian, and even Aboriginal cultures. They all have very similar stories of bad shit happening and
cataclysms, like
divine beings kind of teaching them how to rebuild and give them civilization.
It's even in the fucking Bible, like Noah's flood.
Exactly. Maybe Noah was a fucking alien. It's just like you hear the name Noah and you think like, oh, it's a human, but it's like they could like
might not be.
It's just they just called him Noah, like.
Yeah.
You know, it's a human name. It doesn't mean it was a human.
Yeah. The person who wrote the story called him Noah. Like.
Yeah. Anyways, listen. Stay with me.
Listen.
Stay with me, all right? I know I'm getting kooky. It's not like these civilizations all had contact with each other as well, which leads me to believe that like if you see the same theme across a load of different cultures, something fucking happened. Like something fucky is going on. So usually these beings shared knowledge of like writing, science, and agriculture and everything, right? So that could be what it was. They brought them into the caves and they like helped them like rebuild.
They taught them about this shit, like.
So anyway, I think I'm about to take a bit of a pivot here. Anyways, today the Smithsonian vehemently deny any Egyptian artifacts ever being found in North America, including the Grand Canyon, right? The official story now is Kincaid's Cave is a hoax and there's no reason to try and find it. Okay, so
there's absolutely no reason for you to go looking for this. That's such a funny thing to say.
Yeah, so they're kind of, you know, like if he found all this stuff, they sent a professor, and they all found artifacts, sent it back to the Smithsonian. But now the Smithsonian is like, no, didn't happen. And even Kincaid himself has kind of said things that are kind of trying to dissuade people from finding it. Like, he said, I would impress that the cavern is nearly inaccessible. Its entrance is located down 1,400 feet of sheer canyon wall. It is located on government property and no visitor will be allowed there under penalty of trespass. The scientists wish to work unmolested without fear of archaeological discoveries being disturbed by curio or relic hunters. A trip would be fruitless and the visitor would be sent on his way. So he wanted to dissuade people from going. Maybe to protect it, maybe he's been greedy, or maybe he was told to make that statement.
Yeah, right? He might have been pressed, like.
But today, some people think they've found it, right? So people have still been looking for it ever since.
Yeah.
Jerry and Kathy Wills, nearly 100 years later, so this probably would have been around like 2010 or something.
Fuck. This is only recently, like.
Yeah, so they did like years of research and exploring, and they found the area where Kincaid said that he found the cave, right? So on the canyon wall below the area, they believe is the entrance to the city. So they're kind of coming at it from above. Right?
Are you loud up top?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
So they're kind of near like, I actually don't know where they were, if it was the rim or what, but they were above where they thought that the entrance was.
Nice.
This area is conveniently off limits by federal law.
Oh,
right?
Okay, there you go.
So there's been over 100 caves found in the Grand Canyon. Many of them man-made.
Okay.
Only 30 of them are mapped, though. And many of them are just completely sealed off. So there's like over 100 caves, but like not all of them are on the maps. Do you know what I mean? It's just so there's...
That's a bit odd, like.
Odd.
You would imagine that every single cave you'd want to explore every single one of them. Like.
Yeah. And not only that, right... apparently they're sealed off for your safety, right? And the government won't even let you near, even if you sign like a waiver that you like accept responsibility for anything that's going to happen. Like
yeah, they say, oh no, don't go in there, you'll get hurt. And you're like, what if I don't care if I get hurt?
Exactly.
They're like, I still can't go.
You're allowed. You're allowed to do all sorts of dangerous shit, but you can't do that.
Yeah, I could jump out of a fucking airplane if I wanted to.
100%. So some caves are actually sealed off with steel gates as well, and they say it's to protect the bat population.
That'd be so funny if your fucking tinfoil falls off and you're like, what am I saying? This is fucking stupid.
For the audio listeners, you might want to check out the YouTube video to get the full visual impact of this. I'm definitely not wearing a tinfoil hat. But when Jerry and Kathy were exploring, they were being watched. Okay, so planes were monitoring them, despite this area being marked as a no-fly zone. So there's no planes allowed to fly below the rim of the canyon. So
right.
like in the canyon.
Yeah.
Right? But they were exploring, and this white, unmarked plane just kept doing laps of like where they were. Right?
Somebody spotted them and
Someone
said...
spotted them, rang the boys, and were like, they're getting very fucking close to that cave, like.
Yeah, hey, spook them a little there, will you?
So Jerry thought that this was a warning. They were exploring from above. Others tried from below, as Kincaid did. So they kind of took his route. You know, they went along like the river and whatnot.
Yeah.
However, when they got close, a black unmarked helicopter appeared. It wasn't like a tourist helicopter.
Yeah.
I saw a picture of this as well. It's an Apache combat helicopter, like.
Damn,
military.
Ironic as well that it's called Apache.
Yeah.
Damn.
Just a bunch of Native Americans flying it like he has become the sky god.
Look at this black canoe we have. Are we? Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Apologies. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I'll stop.
Yeah.
Anyway, go on.
Cool people.
That's fucking crazy that like a fucking military chopper just came to them like.
Yeah. Exactly.
Fuck.
So clearly being watched a bit like. The teams exploring from above, they noticed kind of random things around the place, like cement, like blocks, and cement, like platforms near the edge of the rim with like hardware and anchors used to assist mountaineers. But when they asked the government about it, they were just like, that's just to reinforce the structure to prevent like rockfall. Okay, which could be true, but there's also like rappelling stations there and whatnot.
Yeah.
And also in this forbidden zone, rock formations have very strange names, right? So there's the Isis Temple, the Tower of Set, Horus, the Cheops Pyramid, and Ra. So just all Egyptian names for some reason in the Grand Canyon rock formation names.
Well, yeah, why would you?
I don't know.
Why would you name them that? Like?
The government say it's just a coincidence, but it's kind of weird to say it's a coincidence when you pair it with what might be in this alleged cave.
Yeah,
you know?
And you're denying.
Yeah.
That's fucking so silly for them to have named them that.
I know. Not only that, but there's also the Krishna Temple, the Buddha Temple, the Manu Temple, and the Shiva Temple. These are just names.
They're all
like
fucking Hindu gods, aren't they?
Formations. Yeah, so Egyptian and Hindu links, once again. I don't really understand that part. Like, surely if you were trying to keep something under wraps, you wouldn't name it that bait. Like,
that's so fucking stupid.
It is very stupid.
Trying to keep like a cave full of gold.
Yeah.
Secret. You don't call it like
gold cavern.
Find wealth here.
So these are all Egyptian and Hindu gods, right? Specifically cultures with myths of gods helping people after a great flood. Again, so the official word is these names are a coincidence. Yeah. So yeah, I'm getting a little bit scattered here, but basically what I'm trying to like put down for you here is that they seem to be trying to like cover shit up a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? And when you factor in what the Native Americans say with what like Kincaid found and everything, it does seem like there definitely could have been a race here long before the Native Americans were.
Yeah, you know? Like considering their myths and then what Kincaid finds in the area where their myths take place.
It's 100% plausible.
And then
also the fact that Smithsonian is privy to covering things up.
Yeah, they're covering it up, and the government is trying to like spook away people from that area as well, like.
So, going back to Smithsonian cover-ups, there's an author named David Childress who often covers like ancient mysteries and shit. He believes that the US government actively suppresses discoveries, and the Smithsonian is hiding some of the most important discoveries from the Americas. He says the cover-up began in 1882 with famous geologist John Wesley Powell. John Wesley Powell appointed a man named Cyrus Thomas the director of what was called the Eastern Mound Division of the Smithsonian Institute's Bureau of Ethnology, right? So it's a bit of a pivot here. We're going into talking about something else.
Right.
The Mound Builders.
Okay, right, nice.
So this is where the giants start coming back into
the Mound Men.
The Mound Men,
nice.
Right? So let me see, when Thomas came to the Smithsonian, he believed there was a race of mound builders who were distinct from and arrived before the American Indians. So now I need to flip forward here and describe who were the mound builders.
Yeah.
The mound builders were people who built astronomically aligned earthworks and burial mounds and cities that were advanced as fuck, according to my notes.
They were sick as
fuck. They had like massive trade networks and sophisticated like art and ceremonial practices. They left behind no writing, but loads of symbols and artifacts. Okay, so let's get into this here now. So yeah, Cyrus Thomas, he believed in something called diffusionism, right? Which is throughout history, there's been a widespread dispersion of culture and civilization, even across like great distances.
Even across oceans. Like,
yeah. The Smithsonian, then they take kind of like the opposite approach. They're into isolationism, which is cultures and civilizations were predominantly isolated.
Yeah.
And they have little contact, especially when separated by large bodies of water, right? So the mound builders were kind of native to like Ohio area, right? Along like the Mississippi River and all this kind of stuff.
Okay.
Right? So Smithsonian believes that like civilizations can have contact with each other. So it's believed that this advanced race of highly populated civilizations of the Ohio and Mississippi valleys were rare, and they didn't have contact with any other like advanced cultures like the Aztecs, the Toltecs, or the Mayans, right? So which would have been down in Mexico. But the Mississippi River runs from literally like Canada all the way down to like the Gulf of Mexico. So there is water that would like connect Mexico and like Ohio.
Theoretically, they could follow the river and find somebody else. Like
the ancient mounds of the American Midwest show existence of complex culture, right? So cities, some of them were larger than like European cities at the time. And they also show burials of extremely tall people, sometimes 7 or 8 feet tall.
Ooh.
At a time when the average height was like 5'6". Okay.
A race of Shaquille O'Neal.
Exactly. Like. Yeah. So there's a place called the Spiro Mounds, and they were excavated in the 1930s, where 7 to 8 foot tall skeletons were found. I saw pictures of this as well in the video. They do look like very big fucking skeletons.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, 7 or 8 foot.
Yeah.
Fucking Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Those skeletons were lost.
What? Oh, they were lost.
Yeah. In 1892 as well, stone coffins were discovered in Alabama by a geologist named Frank Burns, 7.5 foot long, hollowed out by fire and metal chisels. Findings were sent to the Smithsonian. In 1984, a report was found by a researcher, Frederick J. Pohl. Smithsonian said they couldn't find them in their collections, although records show that they were received. So they lost these big coffins, and stone coffins, mind you, and skeletons.
These fucking Smithsonians are like, in my head, they're turning more and more into dirty dogs.
Yeah, seems like it. Again, the purpose of talking about the mound builders and everything is just to show you that the Smithsonian is, at very minimum, extremely incompetent when it comes to logging things that are sent to them and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
So there's a pattern here of like people finding great things, the Smithsonian stepping in, and then just nothing ever coming of it, like, or no talk about it anymore.
Making a fuck of it, like.
So 8 years later, they found the coffins, right, the Smithsonian, but they were stored in a warehouse contaminated with asbestos, and no one's allowed to go in there. So take our word for it, like.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
like,
take our word for it.
Yeah, we found them.
Yeah.
You can't go in though.
This guy, David Childress, as well, he believes that, like, do you know in Raiders of the Lost Ark, like at the very end when they have like all the artifacts and like the warehouse and everything?
Yeah.
He believes that like that movie is fiction, but that last bit is kind of like true.
That's
that,
real.
You know,
like, there is like massive fucking almost cavernous rooms filled with ancient shit that they just will not let you have. Like.
100%. Also, during World War II, a crew was building an airship in Alaska. They excavated a mound that had gigantic human remains, skeletons 2 to 3 times the size of a normal human. This was confirmed by multiple sources. The Smithsonian collected findings, and that's the last anyone heard of it. Stories like this go from Alaska down to Mexico City, just of finding like massive skeletons and shit.
Damn.
So, if this is all true, you know, and they're not talking about that, it's entirely plausible to believe that like they're not just sealing off caves in the Grand Canyon for your safety. There might actually be something to it. Like,
yeah.
it strengthens the theory that an advanced race of giant people existed in North America like long before the Native Americans arrived.
Yeah.
Mainstream science goes against it, but the Hopi and other canyon tribes like do believe this.
Okay, so so do they think that the people who live in the Grand Canyon are giants? Like,
I don't think
were the mummies in there normal size?
No, they believe that the people from the canyons are more akin to like the ant people that they described, I think.
Okay, yeah.
But the reason the giants and the mound builders are relevant here is because it shows that, again, this is something that the Native Americans said, that there is like a civilization that existed in this area long before them.
Yeah.
And that they're not their direct ancestors. Like, they were a different race of people that either were driven out or got vanished.
Yeah.
Right.
The key points of that are all the same. The Native Americans talk about it. People have discovered it.
Yes.
And the Smithsonian has covered it.
100%. That's the kind of link. That's kind of what strengthens it, is that, okay, it's not just the ant people and, you know, the Egyptian and Tibetan shit and all that. It's like, oh, there's also these, like, massive skeletons that the Native Americans described, and then the Smithsonian steps in and it's like, nope.
Yeah, there's a common theme there. Like.
Yeah. The Hopi say when the first people emerged from the canyon, they sent a messenger to the Temple of the Sun asking for peace.
Nice.
But the messengers never returned. Even today, Hopi settlers at sundown can be seen on rooftops, gazing towards the setting sun, waiting for the messenger to return.
Damn!
And when he does, the land will be returned to the first people.
yeah.
So, yeah, it seems like they have a lot of conviction in this kind of sky god and ant people stuff. And in, like, numerous tribes have, like, the same story of how, like, they were saved from destruction by, like, a foreign, like, race.
With advanced technology.
Help shelter them in caves and everything.
With metal tubes.
What else do I have here? Let's see. Once I started writing the bit about the Mound Builders, I was like, how do I tie all this in, right? So I have, like, why is this relevant? So while classic Mound Builder cultures, it post-dates the Younger Dryas, right? But many Native American tribes insist these mounds were not built by their direct ancestors, but by an earlier race of beings or people who vanished.
Okay, right. Yeah, so they're not claiming credit for that, like.
Yeah. So yeah, even in Cherokee and Choctaw tribes, they speak of a moon-eyed people who lived here long before them and disappeared.
Moon-eyed people.
So that's my Grand Canyon.
Nice.
Shit.
That's a lot of like. That's
a lot in that.
That's a lot to think about. Like.
Yeah.
I noticed that like a lot of them describe their eyes differently.
Yeah.
Which is something that like I like to see things like that. It's like. That's like a real, like, historians use that when they cross sources.
Yeah.
Like, written texts. Like, oftentimes, you know, like, we don't know what, like, Genghis Khan looked like.
Yeah.
But oftentimes, the sources will talk about his eyes. And they'll mention, if there's any striking features about something, it'll be mentioned multiple times across things. And that...
Things that stand out.
Yeah, and that adds weight back on the side of like, oh, okay, so this has more chance of being true. Like, I like the fact that the Native Americans are all describing their eyes. Like, they describe them differently, but they're all talking about their eyes. Like,
could have been like different kinds of like people as well, you know.
True.
But yeah, in every case, the eyes stood out enough to be noticed as like not normal. And I don't know, like, when I first got into all this, I was more interested in like, you know, what the fuck's going on in the canyon. But then, the kind of broader story unfolded a bit more, because there's only so much we know about Kincaid and the cave and everything, because nothing was brought up about it again past a certain point. There was articles in like Arizona newspapers back in like the early 1900s that talked about like, oh, great, like exploration in the canyon and like things were found, but it all got like shut down, and like more articles came out then saying like, oh, that was a hoax, and they were just doing that for like views, not views, would have been
do it for the views, do it for TikTok. But that is like I genuinely believe like the Smithsonian could be a lot like the Vatican in that regard, where like you know for a fact that the Catholic Church is suppressing things.
Yeah.
And like the Vatican literally have like vaults and like basically Indiana Jones style rooms filled with like
all shit from crusades and everything, like
ancient shit.
Yeah.
But you'll never see that ever, because they're like, well, there could be something in there that is literally like, oh well, this is a fucking alien. Or like, this proves that fucking Jesus isn't real.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're just like, the whole book that they base their religion off could be torn to shreds by this.
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel like the Smithsonian might have something similar going on.
I think you don't have to believe everything from what I just talked about there.
No,
but there is enough interesting links and enough like food for thought there that I think you can have a hard think about like what might have actually happened, like, you know.
Yeah.
I do believe that, like, do you know that phrase that we're like a species with amnesia? We don't actually remember, because a lot of things get like wiped out and like altered and everything.
Definitely.
So it is cool. It is interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's one thing as well with like conspiracies, that like people who don't we'll say indulge, we'll say, in conspiracies, they don't really understand that you're never gonna know the full truth, story. Yeah. You're just speculating. And you might not believe it, but it's a good exercise to humor that side of your brain.
Yeah.
And to really think, oh, and imagine what would that be like, or could I see a world where that's possible? And it's like, that's a really useful exercise.
Yeah.
In thinking, like
the reason I would actually believe a lot of the stuff in this is like, even in today's day and age now, it's actually pretty much the agreed upon narrative and norm that UFOs exist. Like, the Pentagon has been saying it. The US government are a lot more forthcoming now with like things about UFOs.
They literally were like, oh yeah, they are real. Like, UFOs are real. Unidentified flying objects that we don't know what they are real.
And like, what was I going to say there? So it sounded nearly a bit to me like an Area 51 situation. Do you know what I mean? Where it's like, no one's getting near this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you have to ask yourself, like, why? You know?
Yeah, why are we not allowed in there?
Yeah. And like, then you look at people like Bob Lazar that then kind of started spilling a bit of the beans about what was going on in, he was Area 51.
51,
yeah. Like, that man said he's seen like an alien, like.
Yeah, he said
like
he was
a dead alien, didn't he?
No, I think it was he was
and the tech.
He was reverse engineering the engine of a spacecraft.
Yeah.
Like, that they had no idea how it works, but
like, literally think about that.
Yeah. Like, they
just take what you just said there, like.
Yeah. Like, his job was, he claims, was to back engineer something that they don't understand.
Yeah.
Which is like a common thing. Militaries do that if like a foreign country has better tech than them.
Yeah.
They get a hold of one of them and then back engineer it, and then they can build it again.
Yeah.
But it's like, that's crazy. Like,
yeah.
He's claiming they have one,
and it was
it like fucking didn't 60s or something.
Yeah. And that like it didn't obey like any of our laws of like fucking physics or
propulsion. Yeah, it was like anything. It could just like float.
So if things like that are being talked about now, like, it's entirely possible that could literally be the case for thousands of years. Is like that those kind of things have been around, but we've just never really been exposed to it. Like, we can see all this stuff now because of the internet and everything, but like, that could have been happening literally since the dawn of time. Is that these, and maybe they used to play a bigger role in our society, and now.
Yeah, it's like we're peeling back so many. Because we're advancing a lot in technology, we're peeling back so many layers of mystery about our own planet. Like, and you know, a lot of people are looking outward to space. Like, but there's a lot of shit here that we do not know.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of shit that, you know, like places we're not allowed to go.
Yeah,
why are we not allowed to go there? They're like, oh, it's for your own safety. It's like, how about you? If you're worried about falling rocks, just put a load of fucking nets up.
Yeah.
What's the fucking problem?
And like, there's not going to be, if you're worried about falling rocks in the Grand Canyon, like, people aren't really down in the bottom of the canyon. Like, I don't think, you know, it's like.
So what if they are like? There's cities in America where there's people literally fentanyl themselves to death.
Yeah.
But they won't let you walk in the Grand Canyon because it's too dangerous. Like, I'd say it's probably more dangerous to fucking live in one of your cities.
Yeah,
you mad
and
cunt.
it's huge as well. Like the Grand Canyon is fucking colossal. Like who knows? Like it's entirely possible that like, you know, especially since it was like carved up in like a really high shelf of the canyon where people wouldn't be able to get to. Like it's just like, it's strange, you know. It's strange that this whole man-made cavern system existed there. And then you look at things from like ancient Egyptian culture. There's also things like tunnels and caves with like such precise engineering and angles. I used to watch videos about this as well. It's like they don't think that they had the knowledge to be able to do that. Like,
they struggle to reconcile the perceived technology of the time with the results of the work. Like,
so there's a gap there.
Yeah.
There's a gap going in history where they were able to do shit that like we can't really fathom how they would have been able to do it, because it would be like a feat of engineering in today's day and time.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like they were either much more advanced than we ever thought, or had like help
from somebody who
got like guidance.
Yeah. Because like how are you doing this? Like
you look at like all the pyramids and how like they're fucking aligned like astronomically as well with like certain constellations.
That's the craziest shit, I think.
Yeah, it's nuts. Like there's no way. Like what?
Yeah. How are you doing that? Like it's like you could leave me alone with like an astrological book and give me immortality, and
you wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't do it in 10,000 years.
Yeah.
Like how are they doing that?
And also, why were you doing it as well?
True. Why you don't just decide to build an astronomically aligned mound in the earth?
Yeah, like it was all kind of
because you're bored. Like
it was nearly
That doesn't make any sense. Like
a lot of these things that happen in cultures, they happened nearly because of reverence sometimes too. Like they were praising something or like honoring something, you know. So like pyramids, and it's not just Egyptians. Look at all the other cultures that have pyramids too, like Peruvians and like
Mayans and stuff.
There's pyramids that are older than the Egyptian pyramids. Like, I think Peru has the oldest pyramids in the world. Yeah, and again, astronomically aligned with things.
Of course. Why, sure. You can't build a pyramid now, lads, if you don't get your astronomical alignment going.
Yeah, like why would you even build a pyramid? There's nothing like.
I don't understand.
Yeah, like it's
It's an insane spend of your resources in a time where it's really perceived that you should be like, you're almost clawing to keep your village, your tribe, your people alive and prospering. It's like, but they had time to fucking spend probably hundreds of years building these fucking pyramids.
Yeah, and when they started talking about in that video, you know, how the Hopi talked about the ant people, it just reminded me of all the other videos I've seen of other cultures that spoke about people that descended and helped them out. So like Quetzalcoatl, yeah, apparently looked like a feathered serpent of sorts, right? And he came and helped. Who was?
Isn't he not like a flying
Aztec?
serpent as well?
Something like that. Yeah, I can't remember what culture he belonged to now. Some Mexican one, I think.
Is it Aztec?
It might have been
Mayan, or is it
like
pre-Mayan?
But anyway,
it's one of them.
It's one of them.
It's one of them.
But like,
fucking
again, he's described as someone that came and helped after a fucking massive natural disaster.
Yeah, there's a few.
Doesn't really fit the bill of sounding or looking human, like, you know.
Yeah, he's a feathered serpent. Like
Egyptians had the same thing.
Yeah, they have like fucking Ra.
Yeah,
all these like fucking ISIS. Like,
yeah, so that kind of shit, it all makes me curious. You know? It's like, because you can say it's like, you know, it's just some stories to pass the time, but like it's very common.
Yeah,
like they all talk about similar shit, and it's so long ago that we'll never get the full truth on it. So, and then you make the link between gods and aliens. Could be the same fucking thing, like
pretty much, yeah. Because it's like we are so accustomed to the word God, and like everyone will have their own interpretation of it, but we're accustomed to that, and it's like maybe they're not gods, maybe they're other beings, like, from other places.
So that was my research.
That was good. I really enjoyed that. I didn't know anything about that, but I was just thinking there that makes a lot of sense that the Native Americans would say that like the first peoples came from the Grand Canyon, because it's it looks like a massive fucking vagina.
Yeah.
Makes perfect sense.
They came from the stone pussy.
So yeah, I believe in everything you just said because of that fact.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's good,
I think that's it. I think we'll wrap it there for the week, will we?
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right.
Right.
Boom.
Tight.